As part of the productivity series on our website, let's answer the question of how do I ensure that a project that I'm working on actually delivers on the outcomes that are desired? So in order to do that, you need to take a step back and make sure, as Stephen Covey said, make sure you begin with the end in mind. And so what we're doing here with our intention transformer is we're making sure that the end has been predefined and that we're thinking through and creating an approach that will ensure that we deliver on that desired end. And so we're going to go through these steps. I'm going to explain these steps for a specific project. So the project coming up is an executive meeting. So when I say project, you don't necessarily need to be thinking about it needs to be a huge project with a capital expenditure associated with it and so on. I find using the intention transformer for going into an important executive meeting is an absolutely great tool and a great preparation for you to make sure you're going to create the best outcome possible. So the project, as I said, is this executive meeting that you need to go to shortly. And so we want to be really clear on and understand what is the purpose of that meeting. You know, you're being asked to present at an executive meeting. Well, what's the purpose of that? Is it just information sharing, or is it to get a budget approved, or what is it? And so in this example that we've made up, we're saying, well, it's partly information sharing, and it's also going to determine the future status of your department. So pretty important meeting. And then going into that, the next thing we want to understand is who are the key stakeholders involved. So obviously there's the executive team that you're going to be presenting to. There's going to be you and your department in this example, and you and your department provide some service to operations. So clearly, depending on what happens with your department, that's going to have an impact on operations. And so once we understand the stakeholder groups, we then want to define what are key outcomes that we're looking for by stakeholder group. So in this example, we would then say, well, from the perspective of the executive team, what is the outcome that's desired? And perhaps the outcome is we're looking for a decision on status of our department, and we want that decision to be that not only we're going to carry on with our department, we're going to expand our department. So we're looking for executive endorsement of that. For the stakeholder group of you and your department, the outcome you're looking for is, of course, that your department remains and is being expanded. And from the perspective of operations, the outcome that they're looking for, the outcomes that we're looking for there are that you're going to continue to provide support to those operations. So, and then it's defining the challenges and opportunities, again, by the stakeholder group. And so perhaps the challenge is, well, the executive team, for whatever reason, is predisposed to want to eliminate your department. Perhaps there's budget cuts coming through, and so we know that that's obviously a challenge. They're looking for areas that they can cut, and your department happens to be on the list. An opportunity is that operations really values the service that your department provides, so we really want to leverage that, and that's going to be a huge opportunity is from the clients, the operations, for them to be saying, geez, this department provides a really great service, and so on. And so we want to make sure we really understand by stakeholder group what are the challenges and opportunities. And then once we know that, and if we do a good job on understanding the challenges and opportunities by stakeholder group, the approach is self-evident. The approach just falls off the page, knowing all of this. And so we're going to define the approach based on the challenges and opportunities that we define. And so, and as an example, if we said that the opportunity was for the operations stakeholder group, that they really love the service that you provide, well, we're going to want to incorporate some examples of the value that they see, the value that's been being delivered to operations, and we're going to want them to perhaps give a case study or give some examples and support your presentation. And we get really clear on the approach of what your overall, how you're going to address this time slot that you have, presentation that you have at the executive meeting. And then from there, once we know all of that and we have the approach clarified, we want to then move to next steps, as we always do, and make sure we're translating that into clear action. So what has to happen? When does it have to happen? And who's responsible for doing that? And so again, our intention transformer makes sure that you begin with the end in mind, and make sure that when you're working on any project, that you're actually defining an approach that's going to ensure that you deliver on the desired outcomes. So again, thank you for watching our video from our productivity series. I'm Brad Pickering, President and Founder of Innovate Advisory, and I look forward to working with you in the future.